Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Hello to all my friends there in the live chat. Great to see you. Wonderful to see all the members as well. Always so wonderful to just see all that green of the members in there. I love seeing it. Love seeing all of you here. Thank you. Big thank you to my mods today. We got Nancy here and Mama Opal's here. And Are You Jellin is here. And we'll see who else pops in. Thank you everybody for being here. Okay, I'm Natalie. This is Scientology Life After a Cult, where we talk about the Scientology news that has the internet buzzing. We talk about my 35 years in this cult and leaving with 3 generations of my family. I also do interviews and other videos throughout the week. At least that is usually the plan. So when you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well so you get notifications when I go live. And everybody who's here, I would appreciate it, would love it if you would head over to the like button and give it a little tap, smash, however you do it, because you know how we do it over here. You do you, boo. You do you. I would appreciate that. Big thank you to Vivian Wheeler. Hip, hip, hooray. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. What a great way to kick things off here. We are going to jump into some news. We're going to talk about all the things, right? We're going to talk about protests. We're going to talk about the Occupy Scientology at the Blue Buildings, this weird thing going on with the water, with security. It's like all the things. But first, let's talk about just a little bit of Danny Masterson gossip, which really more has to do with Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, which this is really not that huge of a deal, but they went to dinner with Danny's brother Jordan, and it's kind of making the rounds on the internet that Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher enjoyed a cozy dinner with convicted rapist Danny Masterson's brother months after they were forced to issue a groveling apology for begging judge to show leniency to that 70s show star in his assault case. This is something I just don't think they're ever going to be able to live down, and it will just keep coming up, especially, well, anytime that Masterson comes up, this seems to come up as well. And that's just going to happen because, you know, when you write a letter like that, knowing what you know, this is the kind of thing that happens. So looks like they went out to dinner and they were just waiting for their car, maybe. Afterwards, the actress 40 and the 2.5 Men alum 46 said they were sorry for the pain they had caused and insisted that they support victims in a short joint video posted on their social media accounts. It's just kind of funny to me that that is just always going to follow them. It really is. It really is. And it is cringe to see. Okay, so let's see here. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at Jessica PALMADESSA put up a short, and here's what they're doing. She put together a short of what happens when Sea Org members especially see a camera. They are under very strict instructions to not be seen on video or in photographs because they might be identified. So let's take a look at this. Again, this is from Jessica PALMADESSA.
How are you still falling for the scam, guys?
Run.
Oh, hi guys. Yep, you gotta go the other. Oh, turn. Yeah. Guys, come on.
Somebody must have left the gate open there, and I'm sure they're going to get in trouble for that. It's just odd. It is interesting to me, too. Maybe some just will walk by because they don't quite see the protester or the camera yet, but other ones will full-blown dodge and evade. It is interesting to see and worrisome at the same time because why are they being made to do that? And I think that we know. They don't want Scientology doesn't want them to be identified. Now, speaking of Sea Org members, Lou REPETTO here is an ex-Sea Org member. He is one of the higher trained Sea Org members when it comes to L. Ron Hubbard's technology, specifically as it applies to doing interrogations within Scientology and within the Sea organization. So it's always interesting to hear Lou's take on things. And he did a video with Saul Goodman YT, who is also here on YouTube. And they were talking about compassion within even the Sea organization and certain members. Scientologists are different, just in the way that people of who belong to different groups or families or anything are different. You can have 3 siblings growing up in one family, and each one will be very different. Some you might really like, and there might be one that's just a total butthole. It's that same thing. And it's interesting because Lewis is talking about Odo, who we have seen a lot in protesting Scientology around the blue buildings. And I thought this was an interesting take. And, remembering too that some of Scientology, even security, they do have a heart and some compassion and are trying to help people, even within the Sea organization itself. We've heard stories from Tory Magoo 44 about Odo and her past interactions with him in protesting Scientology, and how he's been one that's just been a little bit more better of a communicator, is the way that Tory's kind of described it. But let's take a little look at this video they did.
To play Odo Huber, because he does have this other side to him where he has compassion, and people feel helped by him. He's a lot of people's terminals, meaning they can come to him with problems. He's not such a scary person. He's a he's a really great guy within the Sea Org, though. He's a good, a looked up to, respected terminal that people can confide in.
I'm not gonna lie, like when it comes to Odo Huber, I want him out. Like he seems like a chill MFer. Like I would like to have a beer with him, not gonna lie. So I can get why he would be like, someone they feel they can go to with a bedside manner. But so they do treat the Sea Org kind of special because I would assume they've been through most of it themselves. They have a little compassion, which is nice to hear.
Just a little bit of a different take. We talk so much about when, especially people in the Sea Org, do things that are just human rights abuses. And a lot of it, they don't know. They don't understand that it is a human rights abuse. They've been so convinced that this is just discipline to help the individual, to put more pressure on the individual than what's referred to in Scientology, their case can put on them. So for them, discipline, coming down on someone in punishment, they believe is a way that they're being helped. Same way, if you were in an abusive relationship with somebody who's being physically abusive, you hear a lot in those situations that the victim is convinced that, one, they deserved it. Secondly, that it's helping them and they're being driven to do it. It's just all very interesting how those things play out. And if you did not catch it, Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology did a video the other day about, we've always called this one security guard William for some reason. I don't know why. I thought that was his name, but apparently his name is Jason. And you know what? I should have pulled up a clip to this video. But anyways, it's a Growing Up in Scientology, and it's about Jason, who we've been calling William, and word on the street that he has a desire to leave, which I don't doubt at all. I don't doubt it at all. I really don't. And based on things that have happened to him personally and what he has experienced in the Sea Org, especially as of late, it's totally understandable. And I hope that he does. Honestly, I hope that he does. But you guys should check that out if you have a chance. We are going to look at a clip of a video from Growing Up in Scientology of an interview with Tory Magoo 44, because we love seeing Tory, and she shares some interesting info there too as well. So let's take a look at this. This is an interview with Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology with Tory Magoo 44, who you can find here on YouTube, and you'll find her out there protesting as well. Let's pop in here and see what they're chatting about.
And I want them to be educated on what they can do. If they're in it, like I said, if you're in anything where you're talking about something important. And
now, just to give you a little bit of a backstory on the video, they're talking about basically trolls on the internet and how Scientology will fuel the flames for trolls. They'll sometimes do the trolling outright themselves, but often what they'll do is they'll go into different platforms on social media and try to deliver the same narrative and the same message. and they'll have multiple accounts. They never identify themselves. You don't really know, who are these people, and they'll try to fuel the fire in different areas. And Tory knows a lot about this because in the early days of the internet and Scientology, that's part of what she was brought in to do as an Office of Special Affairs volunteer, battling the protesters way back when, especially during the days of Anonymous and before that. So it's interesting. Let's listen.
And then somebody distracts off of it, just repost the hot topic. Just do that. And as far as the division, we both agree, talk to them individually. Don't get all this shit going on the internet. It just doesn't help anyone.
Absolutely. And I think what I'm about to say, I think actually Not a Streamer Bro says it again here. Aaron, people do need to be aware that those people do need to be aware of those tactics, as they aren't just about streamer versus streamer. They're to influence viewers with a goal of destroying streamers one by one using seemingly brief put downs, etc.
It's such a great interview. And Tory, it's so interesting to hear this from Tory because there is a history there, a huge history of Scientology doing this. And you can really tell in different, whether it's on a different platform on the internet or even here on YouTube in the comments, there is a distinct difference between somebody who's, kind of just regular trolling versus somebody who is either part of Scientology or is being fueled by a Scientology operative. And lots of times the person who's actually perpetuating whatever the drama is or the hate is or anything like that doesn't know that there's somebody over here who's kind of talking in their ear. They know that person's saying something, but they aren't aware that that's actually what that person is trying to do, to use them to do certain things in a manipulative way. And Tory really talks about the history of Scientology doing this, going back, like I said, to the earlier days of the internet. And it's fascinating to hear that and see how they've really not changed their tactics. It's just become more obvious. And as the world, as humanity, as we have evolved in ways, especially with the younger generations of having, not having the same, just, not being down with bullying and not being down with other forms of exclusion or hate. It's something that just doesn't go as well. And that's why a lot of times, even when these things do happen and there are trolls and there are things like that being created, they really don't go anywhere. They don't go very far. And Tory's got some great insight of how they dealt with that back in the day. And it is interesting because Scientology has to do the same thing. They have to follow the L. Ron Hubbard playbook on it. Not that L. Ron Hubbard said how to use the internet, but he said how to handle critics of Scientology, people who weren't down with that and dared to bring up human rights abuses in Scientology. Really neat to see. I just love Tory, seeing her out there. And she has such great videos on her channel too, from currently, but also back in the day. Now let's take a look at Oh No Nora. Oh No Nora did a video yesterday talking about a few things. She touched on what happened with literally Michael and the altercation with the LAPD the other day. And she talks about a few things. Let's pop on in here. And she's talking about the Occupy Scientology protests going on at the Blue Buildings.
Don't be afraid. Scientos are trying to terrorize because they're desperate. And as we all know, also, we have, the protesters who are doing the Occupy LRH way right now, which is fantastic. They're out there in their tent brigade, in their caravan brigade, letting all of Sciento know that, hey, we're here and we ain't going nowhere. And it doesn't matter if you guys get a permit for time immemorial for every week on their supposed a public street, which is ridiculous to close off a public street, guys, from any activity for weeks and weeks and weeks. And also to never allow people to park on that public street. Don't be afraid. Scientos are trying to terrorize because they're desperate.
That's the interesting part too. Never allowing them to park. You cannot park on L. Ron Hubbard Way. You cannot. It really is. It used to be you could, and Scientology just changed that, and you can't do that anymore. It's an interesting thing. And she makes a lot of good points in that. And seeing it play out. And it looks like she's got a new setup in the garage. I love it. It's looking good over there, Nora. Okay, let's look at Eric Rader. Eric Rader has been live streaming and protesting Scientology out there in Hollywood. And he says a few words about the strange Kid Fest event that's going on for what are we now, 7 days left? 6 days left. It's a 9-day event. We know nobody's there. Nothing's happening. Right around the corner are the protesters, and you got the food, everything being set up. You got tents out there. We're going to take a look at more of that. But nothing is really happening with this Kid Fest, which could just be an excuse they use to close the street. Let's take a look. This is Eric Rader's stream.
We got 3 people with stripes here for hours.
I wonder if those are more feisty or what.
I don't know, but I do love the fact that
They replaced probably the shitty officer from last night.
you know what it is. They have to
Demasculate.
when you need
Look at all
3.
this. Look what they're
I
doing,
know
guys.
it's
Look
incredible, incredible.
Look at for an empty.
And this shows you how much they love the unhoused. Curious about our kids fest with no kids? Yeah, I am actually. I mean, who sets up a 9-day festival for children that no children show up to? I mean, that's not a little sus.
Yeah.
It is weird. And again, with the water, there's so much water being wasted. We're going to take a little bit more look at that. DOA, Scotty, Defender of Ants, was chatting with the police where they were trying to say that they needed to.
And if I don't, you're going to arrest me.
And that ended up being clarified. We're actually going to look at 2 clips. First, the conversation of when they were actually having it and saying, no, you need to move. You can't be there. Let's see how that went.
And if I don't, you're going to arrest me.
I'm telling you, I'm giving you a verbal warrant.
You're going to arrest me if I don't. And you're saying that if you have a pass, that nobody's allowed on this sidewalk at
I
all.
didn't say nobody's allowed.
Okay, who is allowed then?
People that are walking through and not stationary.
Oh, so if we're moving, it's okay.
Yes, but the tents can't stay here. All this equipment cannot stay here. I'm just telling you that. And I'm being very
For the
professional.
encampment, the homeless encampment here.
For whatever this is.
It's a homeless encampment and a
this
protest.
This was set up last night.
No, you're working for Scientology here. They have
No,
all
no, no,
around
no,
Hubbard
no,
Way.
It's
There's not even full over there.
Sure.
No, I'm getting upset now because it's so stupid.
But I'm not yelling.
You're
I'm
well.
not yelling. I'm not
Okay,
yelling.
I'm not going to yell because it's so stupid that you guys are doing this. Okay, you're not helping. You're not helping the protest.
Okay.
That's not what the paper said.
Okay.
I've read the portal.
Okay.
Okay, and no one's on the sidewalk. This whole sidewalk is completely clear.
Outside.
And if I don't, you're going to arrest me.
I'm telling you, I'm giving you a verbal warrant.
You're
So we saw that, and then the officers went and read some documents, did a little bit of research, and came back.
You're not gonna go. You're not gonna get hit. I'm gonna see. Come on. Correct.
Thank you. See?
How nice is that? He came back to tell him, you're correct. I think that's Rib Guy.
So that whatever they want to do, they can do, and whatever you guys are doing, as long as there's mutual respect.
And we're keeping the sidewalk clear.
I will respect you. You guys respect us.
I always do.
So the only there's no loud noise on that side.
We'll be doing our thing. Like I said, hopefully it's uneventful and it doesn't go like yesterday. That's what we're trying to avoid. I wish you could have been here to see how that all started. Like I said, I was not here. I talked to the sergeant. I can't speak.
Let him know they were all good cops, except for one. The one cop was the one. He set that right off like a fire. You know, it was terrible.
Since the morning, that officer was
That's all we're gonna do.
You guys coming back for burgers?
Oh no. Do you have any questions for me?
It's free.
Interesting, and it's good that he did that because it did get a bit heated there. Now let's take a look at Henry Marini, who is a at least new to me streamer there. We're going to look at a clip from him where he showed us a really nice look at some food, or actually, no, first we're going to look at this one where Scientology's running the sprinklers in the water and nonstop, and they're just wasting a ton of water, but it sounds like somebody found some good use for it.
Yeah, he's hitting one. I'm watching it.
Yo, he's pulling a Wendell. He's pulling a Wendell. Bro.
Spot where the camera can't see it. He's like, okay, I don't want to get caught and have to
actually reported my auditing session. I'm going to go to the spot where oh, look at it. They're turning down the water. I can feel it. The pressure is going down.
Maybe you shut it off.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's never variation.
Security's watching nonstop, the protesters out there. So yes, as soon as they would see them using the water and making use of it, then absolutely they tried to shut it off there, but it didn't seem like it was shutting off, which is why I think somebody had to come out and manually take care of that, which is good because they were wasting so much water. You see them in the back there.
Yeah, definitely shut. How many gallons would you say overall in a day were consumed? Would you say about 12,000? I would say so. At the 12,000 per hour? Yikes, man.
I got you on video.
Just hilarious. Goes out there and shuts it off. Goes out there and shuts it off. All right, let's take a look at this now. This is a clip from Sir Crepidus, who we got to see DOA in action doing some cooking, little Iron Chef style. I swear you could just like, I can smell it through the screen almost. That looks amazing. Let's take a look.
Iron Chef DOA over here. Cooking away.
Not a chef. I'm not. I'm learning as I go.
Got the chicken fajita going
Got
on.
cooked down a little bit.
That's a nice grill.
I smell the onion already. I love grilling.
Bet you're gonna get jealous. Oh, thanks, bro. Oh, that's it. Yeah. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Just neat to see them out there working together, getting things set up, getting things cleaned up. Now, so Scientology's out there, right? Last night, they're turning on the water. They're basically trying to interrupt the protests, and it is just not working. And they come out at some point and try to put, well, you know what? Let's look at these clips and then let's talk about it because this is crazy. And maybe somebody who does landscaping can explain, is there any reason for landscaping to put these stakes out and these plastic looking tarps? I'm not even sure what they are. And yeah, what is the thought process? We know what Scientology with the Sea Org's trying to do, but is there any reason that would actually make sense for them doing this?
Imagine all the neighbors like a year ago.
And this is from Confident Chris.
Like, man, this will never happen. This will never happen. Man, look at this water. This couple inches deep. I'm getting water over here. I'm getting sprayed. Look at that. I'm getting sprayed over here. Chat. Hell no.
So there's this is public property where the tents are, and this is not Scientology property, it's public property. And look at what they're doing with these stakes.
This one's too far.
Those are Sea Org members there.
Keep walking. Keep walking. Oh Lord. I just saw the always everything, chat. I don't know if I even showed it, but
So then you got to see this. It is that I just try to imagine this in my head, right? I mean, you can see it on the screen on the videos, but you've got Sea Org members who are out there putting these stakes in the ground and this, you know, tarp looking thing over it, which I saw in the comments. Someone said, if you're seeding grass, that kind of a thing is where it might make sense, but that's not what they're doing. They're trying to put this up so that no more tents can go there. And it is just an epic fail. And there's still, I think Chris runs into some Sea Org members out there too.
Sea Org, man, if you're in it, if you're interested in leaving, SPTB Foundation, the Aftermath Foundation can help you leave. the Sea Org. Everybody that has left the Sea Org loves it out here. Every single one of them.
That's true. I will vouch for that. I left the Sea Org and I love it out here. So they've got these stakes going in the ground. They're putting this stuff up. This is the Sea Org that's doing this. And Confident Chris at least finds a use for the stakes. Like maybe we can actually put these to use. Because, he's been working out. He's been doing the boxing. He's been taking self-defense classes and all that, where he did find a use for it.
Hi, Ludo. You're being mean today, so I didn't say. What the hell was he doing? Okay. I don't know what's going on, guys. Me personally,
that is just hilarious. And it's so interesting how you got to remember how desperate to have Sea Org members out there doing this right around the protesters. So not even with masks on. Scientology has been over the top about hiding Sea Org members from people. And so it just speaks to how freaked out Scientology is about this occupation and what's happening. That they're just like, just go out there, forget the mask, just get out there, put some stakes in the ground. Maybe it's like vampires and they'll be afraid of a wooden stake. I don't know. It's weird. Oh, great. I love this. Protesters should show up in aloha-tology wear and bathing suits and hand out virgin pina coladas. Keiko, thank you so much for that. Oh, that's funny. Good point. Prof L. If you were trying to save Earth, why are you wasting a precious resource like water? Yeah, exactly. Doesn't it remind you of, did you guys tell me in the comments, tell me in the live chat comment or the live chat, tell me in the comments if you're catching this on the replay. Do you remember the video that came out and was going all over the place where there was someone wearing a Citizens Commission on Human Rights shirt outside of the Citizens Commission for Human Rights? I think it was the psychiatry exhibit that Scientology does. And she was spraying down people without homes who had tents right there with water. It just reeks of that. That's basically what they're trying to do. And it is just not working. It seems like it's just becoming an obstacle course. And also while they're out there, protesters, of course, and this is Confident Chris that we're going to look at, lets them know, hey, there's help available. And they're just there. This is really like violating Sea Org protocol of what we normally see, having these guys out there at this time of night trying to do this, and it just makes no sense. Let's check it out.
There's a business in Eagle Rock.
It's okay to leave the Sea Org too. The SPTB Foundation and the Aftermath Foundation can help you leave the Sea Org if you want to leave. And you no longer have to do your billion-year contract. Because like normal religions, right, they don't disconnect people from their families and such.
Yeah, normal religions, you go in, they give you a free Bible. Now with Scientology, you have to pay for their Dianetics.
Every level in Scientology you have to pay for, so Scientology looks down on homeless people too.
Builders. Hey Cynthia, what did you say?
And freeloader dev is also not real. You could just leave Scientology whenever you want. The easiest way out is through the nearest door.
I can stay
out of
here,
Scientology.
guys. I'm not put the tents on top.
Yeah.
And cover it from the water.
Just Danny and Chris just trying to help them figure it out. And he's so right. Having a freeloader debt is a huge reason why a lot of people don't leave the Sea Org. They don't understand that they're not enforceable. And even if they're not legally enforceable, the problem with having a freeloader debt, and if you're in the Sea organization or you're a staff member, any courses, any Scientology auditing that you do, you sign this invoice. You're getting it without paying for it. But if you do not finish your contract, and remember, the Sea Org is a billion-year contract, you leave and you're given a freeloader debt. You owe us money for all the job training we gave you, basically, which, as far as I know, isn't even legal in most states. That's why it doesn't hold up. They can't send it to collection. They're not going to come after you that way. The reason why it's an issue for people who want to leave is a lot of people, myself included, this was my situation. I wanted to leave the Sea Org. I didn't understand at that time that I needed to leave Scientology as a whole. I didn't think that I could, because remember, I grew up in Scientology. multiple generations of my family were still in, but knowing about that freeloader debt. And in the end, even that didn't stop me from leaving, but for a while it was a concern. So that's kind of the issue with the freeloader debt. It's not just that, oh, I'm afraid it's going to go to collection. No, it's that they can't be in good standing with Scientology if it's not paid, which can affect their relationships if they choose to leave. It is this whole domino effect and a control mechanism. So letting them know that helps too. Even though it might not mean they'll be in good standing with Scientology, they can't come after them for it. And some people leave the Sea Org and leave Scientology altogether, usually if they blow, which is what it means in Scientology when you leave without authorization. You know, you just take off. So let's take a look too and just see more of what Scientology was busy doing, trying to block the public areas here where people always bring their dogs by too.
Come on, guys. It's almost 9 o'clock and you're out here working this late? That's terrible. Hope you guys have a beautiful night. Anytime you want to leave Scientology, we're here for you. SPTV Foundation, 727-266-5797. You gentlemen are loved. Anytime you want to leave, we have the barbecue right around the corner. You're welcome. There's food anytime. Come hang out with us. Have a great day, gentlemen.
That's MD Media 18. And it's just, again, it's so odd. And they just continued with this. Very, 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 very odd. And yes, Anna, it is public property. That is what is so bizarre about it. But, you know, Scientology doesn't, the Sea Org is not known for taking things laying down. Doesn't mean that what they're going to do is going to be effective or legal or make any sense at all. They're going to do something so much out of desperation. Liz Gale, good to see you. I love this loving approach. Yes, that was MD Media 18, and he was definitely letting them know. Now, while Mindy Willens was out yesterday, she saw something that was unusual, very unusual. I was surprised to see this. This is a Scientology building. This is where Sea Org members would be, which is why this was so weird. Take a look at this.
I've never seen that either. Is that a dream catcher?
It does look like a dream catcher, and that would be considered other practices in Scientology. I am so surprised that, well, it's going to be probably gone soon enough. Once somebody in security sees Mindy's video, they're going to make that person go take that stuff down. I'm surprised that's even allowed. I know that back in my day, we would not have been allowed to have something like that out because it's a dream catcher, and that's like another practice outside of Scientology. You're doing something that they definitely would not approve of. So we'll see. We'll see how long that is going to be up there. I hope that she goes and checks out that building again. Chantal, with all the never-in protesters they've already created, you would think that Scientology would be more careful about pissing off the public at large. Oh, no. See, Scientology is more concerned with protecting the whales within Scientology, the big donors, where the people where they get the money from, the members who are still donating money, time, and their children. That's all they care about. They need to paint a narrative and show that the protesters are criminal, that they're this, that they're that. It is a whole thing and all part of the scam. They don't care so much about the neighbors. That's why they blare the music. That's why they block neighbors off. Yesterday, we covered how they blocked off L1 Hubbard Way, even to residents who live there, and they couldn't get in. That's just crazy. Jen Nelson says, I love the way Confident Chris is very calm and loving like a lot of protesters are. I don't like confrontation, so that's the way I would do. Totally get that. And he is. He's just a sweetheart. And Jen Nelson, thank you for gifting a Scientology Life After a Cult membership. And in case I missed it, Vivian, hip, hip, hooray. Thank you for becoming a member. All right. So that brings us over to Down the Rabbit Hole News. She talked about what was happening with Daniel from Salem. And when we covered it yesterday, we talked about how, because in a later video, Streets LA is talking about how he ran into Daniel that morning. Jessica PALMADESSA commented on it as well, and how they thought it was so weird that Streets had just had this very civil conversation with him when he ran into him. And then hours later, he's outside of La Poubelle. So we're going to take a look at the clip from Down the Rabbit Hole News, but let's also take a look at a clip from earlier when William ran into Daniel from Salem. So let's take a look at that first.
What's going on, man? You all right?
All right.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
I heard you thought I was in your chat or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You really think that?
No.
You think I'd ever do something like that? You're my guy.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I was mad at you that night. Like, don't talk to her. But that's nothing. We learn from that stuff. But
Yeah.
Everything all right? I know those. I saw what they said about in that one live, and that's just wrong.
Yeah.
It's so hurtful, and you're a good person. You don't deserve that. You know, you're a really good person.
I did appreciate you saying that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you heard it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But sorry you had to go through that, but I got your back with anything. You let me know. Anything I can help you with or whatever. Everything all right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What are you doing over here?
Yeah, I'm just meeting a friend over here.
Okay. All right, man. You take care.
There's a park over there, and he says he was meeting a friend over there. And it's just so interesting how quickly that turned. I mean, Daniel had to have known that he was heading over to La Poubelle within a few hours, because during the convoy, multiple people saw him. And what a time to do it, too. It really does send a message. So let's check in with Rabbit and check out her take.
Go away. I believe it. I believe it. Nat Cat, thank you for being a member for 1 month. I'm so irritated, you guys. I'm telling you, I'm so irritated. I'm irritated. All right. And we're going to slow it down because somebody said that they saw Francois filming while he was over here doing this little bullshit move over here.
Like the fact that I called him out for hanging out with Francois.
Y'all see that? Y'all see that with his little
and here he is hanging out
weird looking ass? Y'all see that?
With Francois. He's a plant. So you know him, you know his music and stuff.
You see how he's smiling? That's your plant. You think he was so worried about, I was disrespected. So then you go back to the restaurant that you've been protesting at. Oh my God. She's behind the curtain. Oh, we're going to slow this clip down in a minute. We're going to slow this clip down. You said there is no point of protest against this restaurant. It has nothing to do with Scientology. Your character assassination is quite shocking. Let me ask you guys a question. Every time, especially when I did Aaron's video, there's always like super chats and trolls that are coming from like, you know, they got the little, what is it? The pound currency on it. Who's over there that's doing all this? Can somebody, I want to know who's doing it, who's bothered. Everybody, like, there was like all the Europe, yeah, there's like UK, Europe. I mean, shout out to Wim and shout out to all my UK folks. But I'm noticing that a lot of the trolls are coming from this direction right here. Like y'all are really worried? What's going on? I mean, that's fine. Please pay. Please pay. Kate.
Great video. Link down below. Today, I remembered to do it right away. Yesterday, I was late in getting those links up. But link down below to that video and all of the videos that we're touching on. Amy says, Rabbit is going to look into the arcade as well, where he was asked to leave. And if you don't know, Daniel from Salem was asked to leave an arcade, allegedly for not keeping his clothes on. And there's just all of these pieces that are starting to come together. And it's just something that people are keeping an eye on. And you guys are continuing to talk quite a bit about. I know, because I get a ton of emails about it. But send me those emails, send me clips, send me links to articles, send me links to a video with a timestamp. Tell me what I'm seeing. Send it all to Natalie at lifeafteroccult.com. Thank you for doing that. It helps a ton. It truly does. Truly does. There's so much content out there. I can only watch or listen to so much. So you guys are a huge help. Now we're going to jump over. We're going to jump over to, I believe, Utah, where Crazy Love is Love did some fun protesting through poetry. You know, I love those creative ways people do it. Let's take a look.
Oh, it's a beautiful day to be outside. I have made up my reactive mind. I get to do whatever I want to because I don't live in a cult like you do. 1 ducky, 2 ducky, 3 ducky, 4. I live in a home and not behind cult doors.
'Cause
you know.
there is two sides to each story. There's two sides to each story.
Yeah.
And my job, I just stay neutral, right?
Oh yeah, you have to.
Make sure
Right.
all rules are being followed on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff from there.
Oh, not a problem. Come on. Oh, you know how to shake your hips. Don't lie. Come on, shake it like Shakira.
I love how the police in Utah have been a lot of fun so far. What we've seen from clips of videos where one officer was trying to encourage the other officer to sing the other day. You know, now we got some like dancing going on. Thanks for that reminder. Oh no, Nora. Don't forget to give the like, a touch assist, and subscribe. Oh, wasn't that so funny? Yeah. Hey, Fluffer Squirrel UK. Oh my gosh, it just made me laugh. It really did. It really did. Now, I know what you guys are all dying to know. What's happening in Boston? Why did Scientology buy a building and let it sit there falling apart like it could be some type of haunted house building? There's an idea. Scientology. Oh, so wake up. This is an idea. Take note of this. Bring it to your leader. Why not take the buildings you have bought and not fully renovated that are still safe to have people in and turn them into haunted houses? You could even charge money and raise money for like a legitimate charity, like the SPTV Foundation, where we're helping people who leave Scientology. You could do that. You could totally do that. Make use of those buildings. You like being a venue. That seems to do, even with the buildings when they're done and they're renovated. Scientology uses them for other groups and things to use. I am curious. I wonder if they charge or if they just do it and be like, look, we're going to let you hold your event here where you're reuniting people, but we're going to take credit for it in a press release and you need to not say anything about it. I think that might be the deal because we do see people do that. Abraham, that's right. Nora should come on and do her Scottish accent. Nora, we were talking, people were telling me that you do a killer Scottish accent, and I was a little bummed out that I have not heard it. So next time we chat, we need to do that. Lisa Pete, haunted house full of body thetans. Yes, tell Scientologists, send your body thetans to the haunted house. Yes, Cult of One, Boston. Was that Cheers? It was. So Boston has this building that they bought on the backs of Scientologists. Nothing like racking up your credit cards, paying high interest rates, and giving away your kids' college fund if you even have one when you're a Scientologist. So Scientology can buy a building and let it sit empty. Well, there are things happening with it. And we have, who was this? Cub Champions 16, new to me, new streamer to me. In fact, I'm gonna hit that subscribe button right now. Got some info on the Boston org, what's going to be happening, and can share this. So let's take a look.
Yeah, that's all it is. They plan on having it up and running, from what I was told, between like mid 2025
okay,
and early 2026.
And because there's so many offices, it's a huge commercial building, so they're just gonna remodel it completely. I'm assuming gut it.
It's going to be filled.
Filled, okay.
And if you ever, I mean, you might get in trouble for snooping, but if you ever come here at night, you'll see that the yeah, that's all it is. They plan on having it up and running.
If you ever come here at night, check it out. Just don't get caught. I don't know who he was talking to. If somebody knows, tell me in the chat or in the comment if you're on the replay. Was he speaking to a Scientologist or just somebody who was working on the building and filling in? I'm curious because this person obviously knew that he was there protesting. That's why he said, well, you know, if you come around there, you might get in trouble. Snooping, but snoop. If you're going to snoop in the evening. That was my takeaway. Okay, good, Nora. Down to do that. I got to hear this Scottish accent. We're totally doing that. All right. Another place you're probably wondering about, the Philippines. Well, guess what? Nasty Nathaniel, who's a First Amendment auditor and has protested Scientology, is in the Philippines and was outside Scientology there and had a conversation with a Scientologist. So let's take a look at that and hear what's happening with Scientology in the Philippines.
How are you?
I'm good.
Are you a Scientologist?
Yes, I am.
Oh, wow. Is this a new mission?
Yes, we're looking. This is the bookstore, and there's a unit at the 9th floor. Where
oh, so this is just the bookstore.
That's the bookstore, and then there's a unit at ninth floor where the lecture area and the course room is located.
Oh, okay. So the old mission, the mission of Manila used to be in Pasig, right?
That's right. That's right. We moved there years ago because it was small.
What was that?
Because it was small.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was. Oh, okay. Yeah. Is it still the same mission holder, Robert?
That's right.
Robert's still the mission holder.
Yes.
Yeah, I was here several years ago. How's it working out for you?
Great.
Yeah. Where are you at on the bridge right now? Are
I'm
you
already training wise? I'm higher.
Oh, okay.
I'm just on SRD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for being nice and talking to me.
I was trying to remember what the SRD was. And for the life of me, my ex-Scientology friends, what is the SRD? Oh, survival rundown. That's what it is. Survival rundown. But for the life of me, I couldn't remember too. What was it for? What was it about? The survival rundown. I don't remember. Somebody tell me in the chat or tell me in the comments. Do you remember what the survival rundown was in Scientology? Interesting conversation. They had to move into a bigger space. Or so they say, although, you know, the other space could have been like in somebody's basement. I don't know. Yeah, thank you. Pockets is cool. Congrats on forgetting. You have no idea how much that is actually truth right there. There is so much there's so much indoctrination, and it was always so drilled into us. I've shared with you guys before where in Scientology, especially with the staff members, they do these drills. They called them Chinese school drills. I don't know if that's what it's called in China. Like it's a repeat back thing, you know, where somebody says, you got to repeat back the L. Ron Hubbard quote so that you learn it and it gets drilled into your head. That was done all the time. I have a few that I still remember, but so much of it, it's just, I've had to get ready. I've had to do a brain dump with a lot of my Scientology, or because I only have so much hard drive space in my brain, I feel like. And I had to get rid of some Scientology so I could like remember my grandkids' names, stuff like that. You know, other things that I want to put up, the other tools, learning some cognitive behavioral therapy tools that makes it easier to let go and recognize what are actual Scientology cult tools. It's such a thing. It's such a thing. Capricious Caroline, this is funny. I would like to see a stream where we ask Tony and Nora questions and then they must answer with their Scottish accents. I don't know if Tony can do anything beyond if it's not Scottish as crap, but I know that he would be willing to try. I think that would be a lot of fun too. And I think Nora would totally be down with it. Hey, Liz, brain dump. Exactly. Don't you find yourself doing that? That it just really feels good because there's so much pressure on you in Scientology, especially in the Sea Org, to remember certain things and be able to parrot it back. And if you don't or you forget, then you got to go to basically reprogramming again to relearn it and to get it down. It's gosh, it's just kind of scary the way that they do it. Oh, that's interesting, Lumidawa. I didn't know that. I've seen Tibetan Buddhist children memorizing texts. The way of learning is memorize first, then endeavor to understand. Interesting. Yeah, it's a little bit like that, but you know, with things that aren't necessarily the most helpful. So it's kind of like, well, what do you do? What do you do? Remember, people, when you see something, say something, shoot over an email with clips and all of that good stuff of what's happening. There's going to be a lot going on. In fact, we are, if you go over right now, we're going to wrap up right now, but I want you guys to, if you're sticking around, go check out DOA. He is live right now. There's some stuff going down, or that when there's going to be a lot going down at Scientology today. So go check that out. In fact, let me just share a little. Let's take a look ourselves here. Where is he? What's he doing?
The public. I just might just leave the. I think I'm gonna go with no Cayete. I think I'm gonna just.
Looks like he is hanging out in the tent there. So for those of you sticking around, head over and let's do a fun Natalie Aloha raid for DOA there and get caught up on what's happening. I got to go back and catch up on his live earlier myself and see what was going on. So head over there, get caught up on what's happening right now in real time with the protests there. And we will be recapping that later and talking about it as well. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. And you know the drill. Before you go anywhere though, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Check your subscribe button if you find yourself not getting notifications, especially. Do go ahead and check that. And I've heard that if you interact in the chat or with comments, that helps as well. I honestly don't know if it does. These are just things that I hear and I'm passing on. Thank you guys for being here. Truly appreciate it. Hope you guys can all get out today and have an amazing cult-free day.